Hi, welcome to this week's reading. So this week is from the 28th of December to the 3rd of January. I hope you've all had an amazing Christmas. And yeah, we definitely had an amazing Christmas. My little nieces loved the little potion kits that I gave them with cauldrons and mixtures of pixie dust and also dragon's blood that spilled over the top when they bubbled it all together. So that was so much fun. So today we're going to have a little bit of a share around some information that Spirit has been giving me for this week ahead. And I would say that this also carries us into this new Ascension template would be one way of phrasing it. And we're also going to have a little bit of a look into the astrology and a bit of a look into tarot to see what to expect and how we can best navigate through the energies of this week. So for those of you wanting to take advantage and to book a reading, let me pop this up. So I actually have, my little pop-ups come up. So you can actually sign up for the newsletter. And this is just to let you know if I have new releases, things like that. I haven't actually connected everything just yet, so you won't receive anything just yet, but just for future. So with the readings, you'll see at the bottom of the screen, it does say 20% off. So this is for the end of December, and you can use the discount code MAGIC. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom, this also applies for in-store readings at Collective Grace as well, Collective State of Grace. So and here we go. Down the bottom, you'll see the gift card. It is a different code word to save 20% on the gift card, which is Love You. So LOVE with a U. So I've seen a few people booking readings and things out into February. So I look forward to seeing a few of you a couple of times already for the start of the year. And also Soul Alchemy Potions. And you'll see I'm drinking a smoothie because it is summer over here in Australia. So I have a smoothie, which is available on the Potions website and also on Solreta.com. So whether you're on Soul Alchemy Potions or Solreta.com, this is the blueberry chai. There is a free recipe for this if you are in summer like me at the moment. That is on Solreta.com. And yeah, there is 20% off bundles as well. So it's definitely worth getting a bundle. We will have the online event coming up for the new moon. This is the one from the end of last year, or this year, I should say, depending on when you're watching this. And something else exciting coming up. We have on the 5th, which will be the 4th if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, I have my live psychic Q&A coming up as well. So please make sure to hit that notifications. I know that some of you have some frustrations around YouTube not notifying you guys, even though you've hit the notification. So thank you for still catching or watching on the replay. And I know some of you have even had comments disappear. I have too in my own comments section. So yes, I don't think the numbers are a true reflection of what's actually happening. So I do really love when you guys are commenting and things, and I'm sorry if they're getting deleted. That is out of my control. So Abundance Potion for this week is the potion that we're working with, and Citrine, a nice little co-companion, the two energies. So this is to start thinking about stepping into the energies of the fire horse that we're stepping into next year. So it's going to be a 1 year. We're leaving the 9 year and saying goodbye to that. So a lot of endings have been happening, but we need to start setting our goals and our intentions. So with one of my gorgeous best friends today, we're going to be journaling, setting our intentions for next year and weaving some magic. And let's have a look into some of the reflections that I've written for this week ahead. So just this morning when I was preparing for the show and doing a bit of the write-up, I kept getting a download, and it was really interesting. I kept sort of seeing, I guess, the blueprint of being a child and then seeing what it means to be an adult. So let me just read this that I've written. So as I've been writing this, Spirit has been showing me very clearly how deeply our childhood lens shapes our present day beliefs and lived realities. So right now there is a collective shift inviting us to become conscious of the unconscious overlays that we've been living from the programs we've inherited, absorbed, or adapted simply to survive. So many of these beliefs were once protective, but protection is definitely not the same as truth. So we don't question these programs early on, and then they quietly become our blueprints. So with this blueprint, this is how it's kind of like a lens on how we interpret love, money, self-worth, all of these things that I've been recording the meditations on, which by the way are done. So I can't wait to release them. We're just playing around with the volume setting, and I've already had people manifesting money. So that is super exciting because it's a measurable way, I guess, of looking at the reality we're in the 3D reality. So that's very exciting. So yeah, with this, it's also how we measure our safety, our visibility, and even our sense of self-worth. So one belief that was highlighted to me this morning was around scarcity. So growing up in a large family, 4 children, and my parents had a business, and a lot of the money would go back into the business. And so what we would sort of find is there was a feeling of scarcity, so everything must be shared. There was a feeling of there's never quite enough, even though that's not true. But, in a busy family with lots of kids, it sometimes feels like that. So also being taught wanting more is selfish, or giving a feeling of guilt around those things for wanting. Receiving means that someone else also misses out was like another thing connected with that scarcity mindset. So for a child, this belief might be logical and they sort of take it on as a blueprint. But when we realize that we're the adult standing back, looking at that through the childhood lens, we can realize that these sort of things are limiting. So this is also why I've written the hypnotic subliminal meditations to help deprogram. And so I'm noticing just the way, like through listening to them myself as well, that it just reframes things in a whole different light. So I really do feel that it does get to the root and the cause around the subconscious and start to plant new seeds, as well as like weed the garden of the old ones that we no longer need. So one thing I want you guys to reflect on and question this week is, do we still need these programs now? So with this work, it's not about judging the past, but it's about updating our operating systems. And so that's what we'll also be doing with the hypnotic subliminals. So this is where we get to re-educate the child from the adult point of view. So you can actually do a little bit of inner child work and reframe or send that child exactly what they feel that they weren't, whether they weren't being seen, weren't being heard, whether they needed more love without having to do things in order to be worthy of receiving love, whatever it is that you guys need. I'm just giving some examples here. So this is where the inner child re-education becomes powerful. So you can gently speak to that younger version of you and say, yes, this may have been true, but how this is how life works now. So it's more sort of telling that inner child that you don't have to go through, certain struggles or whatever it is. So, and from this place, the new belief system is consciously installed. So one thing that I've sort of written, I guess, with the ones I gave examples of before, is there's more than enough to go around. I do not have to struggle to receive. The more that I have, the more that I can give to family, my community, and my wilder world. So those were really, really beautiful things. Knowing that, it's not about just having to hold or scarcity. So let me know in the comments, have you guys been having blueprint stuff come up and inner child stuff? Because this is, we want to get rid of it as much as we can before the new year comes in, because I really feel that Spirit is saying that we're starting fresh. So let me read you some of the astrology for this week as well. So this week opens with fire feelings and truth that just feels like it's rising to the surface. So we have the moon in Aries to begin with. So there's a strong urge to act, to initiate, to reclaim momentum. So you might suddenly feel like that you feel a little bit more clearer, and that that you might feel impatient with things feeling slow, or that they're slowing you down. So there's definitely like an impulsive type feeling or challenge, which I've been feeling just since I've woken up this morning, like this feeling of wanting everything to be done and fixed and changed or in place now for future. It's almost like wanting to get to the end of next year before it's even begun. So old emotion wound surfaces the moon, brushes Chiron, reminding us that not every trigger needs to be a reaction. So this might mean that power struggles are coming up, intensity or desire to prove yourself might also creep up this week. So especially in deeper themes around self-mastery. So makes sense why I was getting the download as well. And then we're getting things around self-mastery come up. So this is a moment to act from consciousness rather than sort of feeling like we're in that inner child blueprint that I talked about, or from like a feeling of defensiveness. So the energy is potent this week, but it also asks for us to look at things from a mature lens. So courage, but just being careful of like any recklessness when we're trying to like speed things along. This is also about having more confidence, kind of feeling like we're centered, we're aligned, and that we have this sense of self instilled without having to force things. So it's more manifestation from a 5D, kind of knowing that we have things in alignment and locked in rather than force. So as the week unfolds, this also will the pace will slow down and reality will start to feel like it's setting more in. As we have the moon move into Taurus, which will bring more of a grounding influence, it'll pull us back into body, into the present moment, and show us what's sustainable. So we might be craving stability, simplicity, emotional safety, yet the challenges come through mental heaviness and doubt as Mercury moves toward, let me see where I'm up to. Sorry, guys. Towards a tense exchange with Saturn. So I think it was Mercury squaring Saturn that we were having. I forgot to write that little bit down. So conversations may feel serious, delayed, misunderstood. You might even question your own instincts or feel like you're being blocked with plans moving forward. So this is not I guess, a grand sense of failure. It's more just kind of like sieving through everything, seeing how you can refine things. So the stars are asking you to edit, to reassess, to strengthen foundations rather than push ahead a little bit prematurely. So Mars will be aligning with the lunar nodes, offering quiet encouragement. So you are on the right path, but growth now requires patience, discipline, trust, and timing. And I think the playful part of me is like, it's the boring stuff. So we've had the fun and the ideas and the inspiration and everything, but now we have to sort of start to put it to practical application. So by the end of the week, the energy will lighten, but emotions might still be ebbing and flowing. So we'll have mental energy increase, ideas spark, and conversations begin to flow as the moon shifts through Gemini, yet sensitivity lingers beneath the surface as we move towards Cancer energy, which can sometimes mean deeper emotions and a challenge as well around that. Can sometimes feel like we're kind of drowning in those emotions. So just like really honoring what you feel. So this week will help to bridge uncertainty and embodiment, desire and discernment, vision and practicality. Let your nervous system start to really settle, start to anchor things. Definitely choosing things that feel grounded as opposed to like impulsive speediness, making change just for the sake of something different. So really looking at like what it is that you're anchoring for future, and what you anchor now also becomes more your emotional and energetic foundation that we're carrying into the new year. So moving slowly, stay present, and definitely trust that wisdom is unfolding inside of you. Okay, let's have a look into the tarot. And yeah, drop a little message below. I would love to hear how your Christmas was, or if you've got plans for New Year's Eve. So looking into the energy for the week ahead, we have, I'll just flip these over. So we have a Four of Cups, Ace of Swords, the High Priestess, the Queen of Wands, and the Five of Swords. So there's something perhaps that we've been ignoring, something that we've maybe been putting off, or that we perhaps haven't perceived just yet. So definitely pay attention to what your intuition, what your gut is trying to tell you with this Four of Cups. And it's sometimes when we're fixated on, a certain outcome or things having to happen in a certain way that we haven't necessarily thought about, that there might be another option coming in that's trying to come from spirit or from the hand of God. And we have the Ace of Swords with this too. So we see a lot of clarity, lifting, confusion, and things, the clouds starting to part, and more this sense of higher self coming in. So definitely meditating, getting to know your higher self, starting to make choices and decisions, and synchronization from higher self. I do feel this is also more trusting your own judgment. I really keep feeling this theme of like inner child energy, and that we're really we're at this stage when we can sort of look at the inner child and be like, it's okay, I've got this, is what I'm feeling with this week in particular. So with the High Priestess, we also know that when we're not feeling in High Priestess mode, we sometimes are trying to push and speed things along from a 3D reality. So her message is to put that little bow and arrow or play on that little harp that she has. Some people see it both ways. But either way, we see that it's about putting your vibration frequency out on the quantum field. So arms above her head, she literally is just calling and anchoring in who it is that she is, what it is that she's working with. And we see all of this abundance come to the bottom of the card. So with this Queen of Wands, we see that there's a fearlessness as well as being a little bit of a spiritual light for other people. I'm hearing the word pilgrimage. So whether some of you might be looking to take a trip, or even if this is sort of like just a little day trip or a little adventure, going on like a little spiritual pilgrimage, I'm feeling that energy come up as well. And let's ask for a little bit more information around this Five of Swords, which does seem a little bit oddly placed. I do feel this is just the mental patterns that we were talking about and the old systems. We've got defeat here. This is Venus and Aquarius as well. So we have Eight of Wands. We also have the 10 of Coins. So the message with the patterns is we need to just push stop when we realize we're in a pattern or where we realize we're in a loop. Eight of Wands to me is that compass spinning out of control. It is Mercury and Sagittarius energy. And just as we said before with the High Priestess having the bow and arrow, this is sometimes just about collapsing it. So really just surrendering in when we're noticing a pattern or a theme coming up. This is actually going to lead to more connection, more community. We've got the Wealth card, the 10 of Coins. This is definitely abundant energy. So really, really beautiful outcome it looks like for this week. So in order to manifest and in order to, I guess, know what we want, we need to get like really specific. So let's get some words of advice from Spirit around the Star Tarot. So we've got the Three of Pentacles, we have the Emperor, and we have the King of Cups. So what I said before about we need to get really specific, we'll get one more. And we've got the Knight of Cups as well. So with this one, we have this beautiful foundation energy. This is Mars and Capricorn. So this is more kind of like a striving energy as well as like quite a solid foundation. Also using that Saturn energy that comes in with the Capricorn for kind of like setting up, whether it's like a regime for yourself for the new year, or giving yourself some kind of like fencing or boundaries is the vision I keep seeing around this. And we then have the Emperor. So we're building into something. So we're starting with the platform, we're starting with the vision, and this is a vision that cannot be washed away. This is a fire that cannot be extinguished by water. You guys know that I say that with the Three of Disc. So with this Emperor energy, this is Aries energy too, and it's interesting. We've got the dark and the light horse, the sun and the moon, and we see he's almost in meditation. And there's one palm down. Let me just see which side this is. So we have the left palm receiving. I've never noticed this before, guys. Spirit's just taking me to this now. And then we have the right hand giving. So really, really interesting. There's a little bit of intrigue from the lioness as well, seeing what's happening there. We also see the dragon at his feet. It's getting shown a lot more things that I've not noticed in that card. And we have the King of Cups. So we've got to build into that feeling and emotion. And we've got to take this. Let me just grab this. So Knight of Cups for me is my shaman energy. It's someone who kind of lives with a foot in each world. And we see that with the Knight of Cups. So with this, we see here that he's got that cup, but he's sort of coming in from this other labyrinth. Or if we look at this as kind of like prana energy, life force energy with this labyrinth, kind of generating this energy. And then we see the cup also representing feeling, representing emotion. So I do feel this is like really holding that vision strong, generating that feeling of what it feels like to be in this place of the Emperor or King of Cups. So really getting like so emotionally dialed and tapped in to what it is that you guys want to create for yourself for this week. So I hope this message finds you well. Love you guys. Everything is in the description box below, and I can't wait to read for you in the new year. Please make sure to take advantage of all of the 20% sales that we have with the discount code MAGIC20 on all bookings. And you can book it now and put it further out into the year, like some people are choosing to do. And we also have the discount code for the session for the gift cards, which is Love You, LOVEU. So that is to use for the gift cards as well to save 20%. And yeah, look forward to seeing you guys in the new year. Okay, bye.